Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So in today's World Facts, we are back with the World Book, because you haven't seen the cover for a while. The World Book, a very cool cover. Unfortunately, this book is cursed, because I recorded this video last night and the audio failed as I finished recording 4 videos. Oh my goodness. It took me like 2 hours of recording, and then I went to take the wire out so I could get the phone out of the clip that it's in, and the microphone wire was like hanging out. So I checked the videos and they had all failed. You couldn't hear me speaking, there was crackling. They're unusable. And I thought back, and actually this is the 3rd time it's happened with this book. And it doesn't basically happen at all with any of my other videos. So it's happened 3 times with this book, and yeah, I basically think this book is cursed. So I decided that I would try it again tonight. I had to take a little bit of time away to calm down because I was so angry last night, and I picked this book up to do it again, and all of a sudden I've had a sneezing fit. I swear, it's cursed. Okay, if you don't know how this series works, I choose a country from each continent on the planet and I read you their page. We look at the map, we look at the flag, we learn some facts about the country, and some really cool bits of information about them. I hope you enjoy the video, and find it relaxing, and at the very least, and also interesting. Let's learn something today. I'm going to start off with Cuba, in Spanish Cuba, which is located here, next to the island of Hispaniola. This is the tip of Florida, and this is the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Jamaica, and they are the Bahamas. This part of the island of Hispaniola is Haiti, and this part is Dominican Republic. And I think this is Puerto Rico here, if I remember correctly. Okay, the flag is blue and white stripes, a red triangle on the left hand side with a white star inside of that triangle. The capital of Cuba is Havana. Havana in Spanish. Official language is Spanish. Currency is the peso. 11.1 million people live there, and the area is 109,000 square kilometers. Known the world over for its music, dancing and unique style, Cuba is the largest nation in the Caribbean. It occupies a long, thin island with great mountain ranges in the west and east, where the forests support several unique species of wildlife. Much of the center is flat and set aside for farming. A touch of the son. Many styles of music that are popular around the world have originated in Cuba, including rumba and mambo. One of the best known is son cubano, which first emerged in the early 20th century. It's a highly rhythmic style that uses several percussion instruments, including the claves, wooden sticks, shakers, maracas and bongos, as well as the tres, a type of Cuban guitar. Cuba versus the US. Cuba has been a communist country since 1959. That was when the revolutionaries overthrew the military dictatorship then in charge of Cuba and took control of the country's industries, many of which were US owned. This brought the country into conflict with the US, which has banned trade with the country ever since. Many people in Cuba still drive old US cars from the 1940s and 50s, from before the revolution. Tiny creatures. Cuba's forests are home to two of the world's smallest creatures, including the bee hummingbird, the world's littlest bird. This tiny flutterer is just 6 centimeters long. But even that is a giant compared to the Monte Iberia frog, which, at 10 millimeters long, is the world's second smallest frog. It's so tiny that it's almost impossible to spot. Cuban crocodile. Seen from above, the island of Cuba is said to look like a crocodile. This seems fitting as the island is home to a rare species of the reptile, the Cuban crocodile. It can grow up to 3.5 meters long and is known as the leaping crocodile for its ability to jump out of the water and snatch animals from overhanging branches. Not terrifying at all. It's a New Year's Eve tradition in Cuba to burn rag dolls to symbolize getting rid of your troubles and looking forward to the future. Hacere que bola. Common Cuban greeting. How's it going, buddy? Hacere que bola. Okay, we'll go to South America next. I'll try and remember the exact ones that I did last night, so that in my brain I see, I think it will have been done, and you will have never seen it otherwise. Okay, let's go to Venezuela, and here it is on a map of South America. We got Brazil down here, this is Colombia, this is Panama, so this here is Venezuela. This is the flag. I've never seen this version with the crest on it before, but I know this one with the stars. It looks very much like the Colombian flag and Ecuadorian flags. There's a good reason for that. They used to be the same country. Capital is Caracas. Official language is Spanish. Currency is the Bolivar. Population 28.6 million and area is 882,000 square kilometers. As the birthplace of Simón Bolívar, the revolutionary who led Venezuela and several other countries to independence, it could be claimed that this is where modern South America began. In the 20th century, Venezuela became one of the continent's richest countries thanks to its vast oil reserves. Protected environments. Venezuela protects around 54% of its territory against development, the most of any country. Within the protected zones are some incredible landscapes, including tabletop mountains, extensive cave systems, swathes of jungle, the vast Orinoco River, and an area of seasonally flooded grassland that is home to caiman, giant anteaters, anacondas, and capybara, the world's largest rodent. Oh, but they're so cute. Giant waterfalls. The the Canaima National Park in the east of the country is home to the world's largest waterfall, Angel Falls. It plunges down 979 meters, sending up a great cascade of spray that can produce several rainbows at once. The falls are named after the US aviator Jimmy Angel, who brought them to international attention when he became the first person to fly over them in 1933. Venezuela has the largest oil reserves of any country on Earth. Storm without end. If you're a fan of storms, then you should head to Lake Maracaibo at the mouth of the Catatumbo River, where a strange local weather phenomenon results in severe 10-hour electrical storms for around half the year. At these times there can be as many as 100,000 lightning strikes over the course of a night. Wow. Chévere, meaning cool or great, is a common Venezuelan expression. The most popular sports in Venezuela are baseball, basketball, and then football. In the capital city, it's the tradition to travel to church services during the Christmas period on roller skates. Okay, we're going to head to Europe, and remember which country we looked at in the video last night. It's Romania. So this is a map of Europe. You can see Italy's boot here. This is Greece at the bottom, Bulgaria, and this is Romania. And next to it is Moldova, and just to the north is Ukraine. Here's the flag, the tricolour, blue on the left, yellow in the middle and red on the right. Key facts: capital is Bucharest, which is about here. Official language is Romanian, which is closely related to Italian and Spanish. Currency is the Romanian leu. The population is 21.3 million and the area is 229,000 square kilometers. Romania is a land of imposing mountains, deep forests and winding rivers, dotted with traditional villages. Legends and myths seem to seep from the ground, with none more potent than that of the world's most famous vampire, Count Dracula, and his brooding medieval home, Transylvania. Vampiric inspiration. Perched precariously on a peak, the turrets and towers of Bran Castle welcome you, spookily, to Transylvania. The castle is believed to have been the inspiration for Count Dracula's castle in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel. The vampire shares his name with a real-life 15th century Romanian figure, Vlad Dracula, also known as Vlad the Impaler. Vlad got his nickname from skewering up to 80,000 of his enemies on long spikes. There are around 6,000 wild bears in Romania, more than any other country in Europe. In 2013, a small village near Bucharest unfurled the world's largest flag, measuring 79,000 square meters. An enormous version of the Romanian national flag. It was laid on the ground and held in place by sandbags. The biggest building. The award for the largest building in Europe, as well as being the world's heaviest, goes to Bucharest's Palace of Parliament. The enormous structure has over 3,000 rooms, and beneath it, a car park that holds 20,000 cars. It weighs an estimated 700,000 tons. At the 1976 Olympics, the Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci became the first competitor to be awarded a perfect 10 by the judges. And then rock star. In 2004, a giant rock sculpture was unveiled in Romania on the banks of the river Danube, depicting Decebalus, the ancient king of Dacia, an area more or less corresponding to modern Romania and Moldova. It's the tallest rock sculpture in Europe, at 55 meters high. Okay, let's go to Africa. I remember that I read out the info on Ethiopia. Here is Ethiopia in red. This is the continent of Africa. This is Saudi Arabia in Asia, just next door. Egypt is here. This is Sudan. This is Ethiopia, and this is Somalia. Here's the flag. It's a particularly cool one, isn't it, with a star in the middle. Green, yellow and red stripes. The capital is Addis Ababa. The official languages are Amharic, Afar, Oromo, Somali and Tigrinya. Amharic is related to both Arabic and Hebrew. It's a Semitic language. The currency is the birr. The population is 108 million. And the area is 1 million square kilometers. It's the second largest nation currently in terms of population in Africa after Nigeria. And Egypt is in third place. Vast, landlocked Ethiopia has a long past. It's the continent's oldest independent state with a rich recorded history going back thousands of years. Many scientists believe the very first humans emerged here before spreading out across the world. Today's country boasts almost equal numbers of historical and natural treasures. Early humans. Remains of some of the earliest human-like species known as hominins have been found in Ethiopia. The most famous is Lucy, a 3.2 million-year-old hominin. Although Lucy would have looked ape-like when alive, crucially she would have walked on 2 legs, one of the key developments that saw hominins evolve into humans. Her skeleton is preserved in the National Museum of Ethiopia in Addis Ababa. The Mercato in Addis Ababa is the continent's largest street market, covering an area of several square kilometers. Ethiopian dishes the injera, spongy flatbread that acts as a plate onto which other dishes are served. The wat, the national dish, a spicy meat stew. Tibs, stir-fried meat and vegetables. Kifto, the ground raw beef with butter and spices. And azifa, the salad of lentils, tomatoes and onions. Bleeding hearts. Monkeys, known as geladas, live in the Ethiopian highlands and have bright red markings on their chests, from which they get their nickname, the bleeding heart monkeys. In fact, the markings are just patches of skin that the monkeys use to signal to one another. Most other monkey species signal with their bottoms, but the gelada spend so much time sitting on theirs that they've evolved another strategy. Rock-cut churches. The city of Lalibela in northern Ethiopia holds one of the country's greatest architectural wonders, a collection of 11 churches that have been carved directly out of volcanic rock. Created between the 7th and 12th century CE, most have been carved downwards directly into the ground. And the gateway to hell. Parts of Ethiopia are highly volcanically active. The Danakil Depression in the far northeast is an otherworldly place of volcanoes, hot sulphurous springs and extreme heat. In places, heat-loving bacteria known as extramorphials have created a strange rainbow-coloured landscape in the hot springs. Okay, we're going to head to Asia next. Okay, let's look at Bangladesh. Here's a map of Asia. This is China. This is India, Pakistan, and then here is Bangladesh. Here's the flag. I love the dark green with the red combination. Capital is Dhaka. Official language is Bengali, Bangla. Currency is the Bangladeshi taka. Population is 162 million. And the area of land is 130,000 square kilometers. Amar Sona Bangla, My Golden Bengal, the national anthem of Bangladesh. A flat, low country spread out around the world's largest river delta, Bangladesh is dominated by water. Cities line rivers and coastlines. Wildlife thrives in tropical mangroves. People work in rice paddies and rain deluges the country during the monsoon season. It is basically the way that all of the melted ice from the Himalayas and the water that comes from there, it reaches the sea. It's a floodplain basically. Stripes, spots and swamps. Bangladesh's lush landscape boasts over 700 rivers, including the mighty Ganges, as well as rolling paddy fields, mangroves and swamps. The Sundarbans region on the southern coast is home to one of the world's biggest mangrove forests, as well as large tracts of fertile farming land. Rare species, including Bengal tigers and leopards, can sometimes be glimpsed amid the vegetation. Colourful rickshaws. Zooming through every city street in the country, the three-wheeled pedal rickshaw is one of the easiest and speediest ways to get around. There are hundreds of thousands of rickshaws in the nation's capital, Dhaka, alone. Many are painted with bright, colourful designs that can depict a range of different subjects: animals, flowers, movie stars, or whatever the owner requests of the local artists who paint them by hand. Mixed up animal. It might sound like something you'd make up, but the sloth bear is a real animal found in Bangladesh's forests and grasslands. It was named by an 18th century zoologist who thought, mistakenly, that its shaggy coat and long, curved claws meant that it was related to sloths. In fact, it's 100% bear. It uses its claws to break into tough termite mounds, which it then hovers up with its long snout. Okay, one continent left. Let's head to Oceania. I've already done quite a few of this section, but let's do Vanuatu today. Vanuatu here on the map, this is the tip of Australia's north. Papua New Guinea here, this is the end of Indonesia. Then we've got New Caledonia here, and this here is Vanuatu. Vanuatu's flag, the red and green, black triangle to the left, golden into sort of borderline, and then this looks like a horn or something in the black. Key facts: capital Port Vila. Official languages Bislama, English and French. Currency is the Vatu. Population is 298,000 on an area of land 12,000 square kilometers. Vanuatu is the world's only underwater post office that receives and delivers waterproof postcards written with unsmudgeable ink and embossed with special stamps. But why? Okay, Vanuatu. Prone to storms, earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, the United Nations has declared this string of islands among the most naturally dangerous places in the world. But it's also one of the most naturally beautiful places, with dozens of tropical islands. No wonder its name means our land forever in the local language. Original bungee. The men of Pentecost Island perform an ancient daredevil ritual every year, known as Nagol, or land diving. It involves the men climbing a tall wooden platform and then leaping off head first. Vines, strapped to their feet and tied to the top of the tower, pull taut to stop them smacking into the ground. This activity is believed to have been the inspiration for the modern extreme sport of bungee jumping. I'm going to do one more bonus one, okay? I want to do an extra one. So we're going to go back to Africa, and we're going to look at the Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire. Here's a map of Africa. We've got Nigeria here. This is Mali, and this here is Ivory Coast, or its official title in French of Côte d'Ivoire. It's the inverse of the Irish flag, with orange on the left, white in the middle, and green on the right. Capital is Yamoussoukro, official language is French, and the currency is the West African CFA franc. The population is 27.5 million, and the area is 318,000 square kilometers. Côte d'Ivoire. The Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, was a peaceful, prosperous place until it endured two devastating civil wars between 2002 and 2011. Thankfully, peace has returned, as have visitors who come to experience the skyscraper-filled cities, tropical beaches, and dense forests where elephants, pygmy hippos, and chimps roam. Elephant excellence. Football is the Ivory Coast's most popular sport. The country has produced numerous famous footballers over the years, including Serge Aurier, Didier Drogba, and Yaya Touré, who was voted African Player of the Year every year between 2011 and 2014. Many people follow the fortunes of the national team nicknamed Les Éléphants, the Elephants, which has won the African Cup of Nations twice, in 1992 and 2015, and has qualified for several World Cups. Actually, 3 times, because they won it last year, didn't they? The biggest basilica. For many years, St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City was the world's largest church. But that record was surpassed in the early 1990s with the construction of the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in the capital Yamoussoukro, with a domed roof. Not unlike the one on top of St. Peter's, the massive church has space for up to 18,000 worshippers. Chocoholic country. The Ivory Coast is far and away the world's largest producer of cocoa beans, the main ingredient in chocolate. Every year, its farms turn out around 1.75 million tons of beans, enough to create a giant chocolatey mountain, and amounting to 40% of the world's total supply. What's in a name? The country is named for the ivory, the tusks of elephants, that were once one of the region's most important exports. The ivory trade has now been banned, and the authorities are doing their best to protect the country's remaining population of forest elephants from poachers. The country's dense jungles are protected in a network of conservation areas, home to populations of chimpanzees. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed that. I've definitely memorized all of that information, having done it twice now. If you enjoyed the video, then why don't you click like, suggest a country to me in the comments section, and help me with any mispronunciations if you called me out. I did try my hardest, but I don't know every single language. And click subscribe if you enjoyed this, hopefully this book will not give me any trouble the next time I use it, and it's not actually under a curse. If you really enjoy what I do and you want to see every video early and see 2 extra videos a month, why don't you click the info box below to expand it and look for the link for my Patreon. Okay, thanks so much everyone. I really appreciate you watching the video and commenting and liking. I hope that you're asleep and I'm talking to myself, but if you're not, thanks ever so much for all of your support and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye 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 bye. Night night.